Alright, guys. Welcome back to another episode with Marvelous Packs. I know it's been a minute since I've done a video. Big weekend. Had my family, a couple big birthdays with my wife and with my one of my daughters. So their birthdays are close together, and right now they're having a sleepover. So finally, the house is quiet. It's late, and I can record a video. But without further ado, I want to talk Midnight Suns. I think it's time we talk speculating on all these signs that Marvel has been giving us in the app. And obviously, my long term team is the X Men, because to me, it's like basically the most popular team, well known team with Fantastic Four. So I think to me, that's like like the long play. Obviously, in the MCU, we're only getting little hints, but to me, the bigger hints we've been getting are, the Midnight Suns. Now, some people may not be familiar with the Midnight Suns. I'll do a quick little refresh. The Midnight Suns include characters such as Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze's version of Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange, Darkhold, and then when you're speaking of the main team that we know of, it's this one right here: Moon Knight, Blade, Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange, Punisher, and of course these are the newer additions added: Hellstrom, Jennifer Kale, and Hannibal King. Now, I am excited for whatever version we get and whatever characters we get. But the reason I think we're looking at these characters likely to be the ones from the that we've already had drops in the app is just the comics available. We already know if we come and look at chronologically what we have. And I kind of like to look at it chronologically because right now it's kind of the easiest way to skim through these comics on the web app. You kind of get it in order of the drop, and it helps me get an eye of, okay, yeah, what type of hints have we been getting that have been like, okay, Midnight Suns team is in full effect? Well, first appearances. And with the first appearances, I'm talking Strange Tales 110. There's Doctor Strange right there. That comic's still a deal. A steal of a deal right now. I mean, frankly, I've been picking up more comments of that the past few days. And actually, I went for the drop today too. It was the stamp. I had enough time to go for it. I only went for one, gambled those 6 gems, hit the secret rare. Uh, Sold it for about 90 gems. Probably could have held it a little bit longer, but I'm not perfect at timing markets. I don't think anybody can really time it perfectly. Oh, looks like I need to restart. I'll do that later. But yeah, like I'm excited. I was able to get the secret rare, turn it into some gems, and I put it into comics. And I'll show you guys toward the end of the video some of the comics I picked up. But going back to the team, here's the next person on Midnight Suns team. Now, Midnight Suns is awesome. Some of the battles they go through, we know we already have Moon Knight in the MCU. We already have Doctor Strange. So I'm giving you two key characters that are part of the team already in the MCU, established. They got long contracts as actors to play roles as these characters. Who else? From Sony, we got Morbius right here. And it's taking a long time to load that comic. It's not that old in the app, still super cheap. The movie, I got mixed reviews. I still need to see it, but knowing that Morbius is already in the verse, because literally they can merge characters from Sony into. They did it with Spider-Man at least, so what's to stop them in the future of bringing Morbius in for the introduction of the Midnight Suns? Another key character with a first appearance, if my app will load properly, um, my mountain signal, is Ghost Rider. And let me scroll down to it. Where is it? Here we go. Ghost Rider right here. Sick. Sick comic right here. This one's always been worth so much. And we're going to have Ghost Rider coming in the MCU at some point, teased at some point, whether it be in the Blade film, whether it be in the Black Knight, how we're getting Black Knight. And if you've seen Eternals, you know, and you stuck to the end in the Marvel and watched on Disney Plus, fast forwarded to the end of the credit scenes for those awesome end scenes, and you saw Black Knight looking at the sword and Blade's voice whispering in his ear, so I just can't wait. For me, that's like the main characters of the team forming right there. Still haven't gotten the first appearance of Blade comic. I think that's a Dracula comic. I forgot which one it is, the number off the top of my head. But yeah, that was, I mean, that is likely to come around the time we get Blade, coming into the MCU, which is going to be really exciting. So where was I? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the other characters. I think we're just missing a couple more from the Midnight Suns. Let me check Wikipedia to make sure. Let's see. We've gone over Moon Knight, Blade, Ghost Rider. So Moon Knight and Ghost Rider, we got their comics. Isn't that cool? It pops up that first image right there. Doctor Strange. Cool. Punisher. So Punisher is another one that we haven't gotten in the app yet. The first appearance, that is. And that's a good Amazing Spider-Man comic. So that's another key character. But we know we have him already. And we know he's going to get picked up because now Disney will have the rights to effectively bringing his show in. And if they're making a rated R version of Deadpool, they're not going to have a problem doing Punisher the way he needs to be done. And for that matter, Ghost Rider, Blade, this whole team, if Marvel and Disney do it right, it could be huge. I mean, it could be an adult, darker side of Marvel. And it could be a lot of fun, too. I mean, they could put their humor to it with the darkness and just make it really, like, vivid and stand out in a way that we need it to, because these characters are really big. I mean, all the ones that I've named in there are that's why I'm like, wow, is this a team forming? Or is Vivi really giving us hints that Marvel wants us to have these first appearance characters? I mean, we have most of the team already in the app. The only two left really are Blade and Punisher, that are of the most significance. Because you have Morbius, you have Moon Knight, you have Ghost Rider, you have Doctor Strange, all first appearances in the app. Coincidence? Possibly, but I really think that's where the MCU is gearing toward, having kind of this side team forming while we have this other big Cosmos Kang story arc forming as well. And that being able to introduce us to mutants and a lot of the other stuff. I get to speculating a lot because I think they're working directly with the licensors in this project, so it just seems like it's got to happen. I mean, Marvel is a huge property, and they are giving us nuggets, and sure, a lot of these drops might be handpicked by Vivi, but I think in some ways, Marvel has to still sign off on everything. So, like, you're looking at some nuggets that we're getting, stuff that is actually speculating backwards toward the comics. I was watching an episode of Comic Tom where they were going over the hot top 10 comic books, and he's a really good content provider about comics, and him and Gem Mint were going back and forth because the Strange Tales Academy comic was... let's see, where's that one at? Let's see if I can find it to download in time, because this is running slow. But yeah, like, seeing that comic and knowing it's already been on Vivi for months and that it's like surging up the list and doing really well, and it's a new modern era comic. Let's see, where is it at? Got that great art that we've been having in the Uncommons too. See. Oh yeah, it's close. It was probably dropped around. Yeah, Strange Academy. That's what it's called. Sorry. Strange Academy, #1. And yeah, today is not my day to be doing screen cap because it is so slow on my device. But I'll fix that for next video, I promise, guys. But in any case, the Strange Academy cover, you can look that up in your app. It is doing well. 2022 cover, $400 value in a 9.8 raw. They're selling for $100. So it's pretty interesting to see how that's been going up in value in this down economy for a lot of different collectibles and different things. So right now, look at that. Floor price is 7 gems. I remember when this first came out, it was like commons were surging past 20 gems. So it just goes to show the opportunities. Very low amount of listings. Yeah, very cool to see. A lot of these comics, the speculation's high, and if you've seen Thor, I'm not going to spoil anything. It just makes you feel like they're giving us little bits and nuggets here and there, Easter eggs here and there, teasing us about the future. And we are just at the beginning of a whole new phase, that leads to, I mean, big things in not just the Marvel collectibles world, but in the MCU. It's going to bring a lot of young kids into the fandom. Um, our kids are going to be into this. It just makes me think about how they're going to experience Marvel when we're super old. But hey, I am glad to be in this time. Wish Stan Lee was still making cameos. That's something that's missing still from the MCU movies, but RIP to the great creator of what we love so much, you know? So I guess that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about in today's video. Oh yeah, I did want to show some of my pickups. So if I go into my profile and then head into the gem balance. See, I spent all my gems. I cannot keep my gems. So I got that drop, sold it. Let's see if it says it right here. Here we go. So I hit the drop right here. Oh, whoops. Right here. Sold it for 90. And then went ahead and picked up. First of all, I got this comic for 1 gem. This is Amazing Spider-Man. How come it doesn't say the number? I believe this is one of the ones with Craven on the cover. And I was like, 1 gem, I'll take it. I was just looking at prices to see how things have been going even further down, meaning, oh my god, let me accumulate more, and that's why I go for these drops, because they're like little opportunities. Yeah, a stamp is still 6 gems you're gambling, but it's a lot better than gambling 60 gems on a hammer. And then you can turn the investment from a stamp that you either break even on, or you do make some gems, to maybe you hit a cool rare number, and then you can pick up all these comics. So let me see what else. Right here, this one I picked up was the Uncanny X-Men first appearance of Scarlet Witch. That is a dope comic. Uncanny number 4. Uncanny X-Men 4. I picked 2 of those up because now this won't even load properly. I picked up, here we go, the Uncommon as well for 32 gems. I felt like that was a no-brainer. And what was it with the 10.95? Another Spider-Man. I think this one was a rare of first appearance of Black Cat, I believe, because she's also being rumored. I heard my friends were like, "Oh yeah, you should still see Morbius because you get the Black Cat rumor and you get to see some okay cut scenes." And I'm like, okay. But yeah, that covers those pickups for today. Those were my today's pickups after the drop. That's why I still do the drop game. If you don't have, I'm not a high budget collector. Here's one of my biggest pieces right here, the ultra rare Darth Vader. If you want, give me a follow. I'll follow you guys back. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun going after the comics. And now I'm closer to 200. I've got 170 plus comics now. So finding this app, dollar cost averaging is my strategy. I'm not a financial advisor. do what works for you guys. Figure out how you want to collect, what you want to collect, because that's going to help you hold it longer. So when the prices go up, you're able to sell some of those duplicates and hold some of the rest. And now that there's MTL cash out, we're going to be getting a lot more users. Take advantage of this last 2 week window that you have before Comic Con comes. I really do think we're going to get a good pump of users, and they're going to go after the big comics, and they're going to go after the speculative comics. And yeah, there's also some filler comics that are in there, some C, D, you know, even D minus type graded tier comics that may take a little bit longer to do as good and might not do as well. I really think if you stick to ones that people are on the hunt for in the real world, you won't do wrong in this app in terms of the comics. And same with the collectibles. If you're an expert in action figures, statues, artifacts, stamps, all these other things, stay in your lane and learn the other things is what I say, is like diversify. For me, I don't know, maybe I sold it too early, but to me, turning 6 gems into 90 gems and then making those into some comics that I feel like have such high real world value and are going to be really hard to find at a certain point in this app, and already have the utility right in front of you. You can read them, and soon you'll be able to have them graded and slabbed. I am almost positive Vivi has a lot of different plans for comics. We're going to be able to display them. The MCP points, get your rares, get your ultra rares, because if I could have gotten a little more gems, say 200 gems off the drop, and that was what the floor was, I would have picked up a whole bunch of um, ultra rares instead of the uncommons. But I like the uncommons of Uncanny 4 because it looks like a secret rare. Has that Scarlet Witch in the white black background. But yeah, I guess that's all I got for today, guys. Hit like and subscribe. Let me know what your ideas are. I know I saw a comment asking me to do a top 10. I might not give it any particular order, but I'll go over 10 comics that are very underrated in the app. I do plan to do that for another video that um, are likely to pick up in value with more comic users coming in. So I think that's going to be a good video to do possibly next week, possibly tomorrow. We'll see. Anyways, this is Marvelous Pack signing off. Y'all have a great weekend. Take care.